Emma getting nervous before the ghost hunt there.
I don't know whether I'm more nervous now or more nervous when I've done my first tournament this year. I think I was more nervous doing my first tournament.
So Emma, the question is karate or ghost hunt or karate?
I'll let you know. Ask me that at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay?
Back here again.
I do have one thing to say though.
What?
I'll be right back.
Must you run out of tape anyway already? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clink. I'm the supposed to be the face of respectable history, and I like to consider myself a rampant skeptic. A couple of weeks ago, one of the resident spooks knocked a can of air freshener off the shelf just as I was trying to make a coffee. I haven't quite forgiven it. One of the things that I've noticed about history is that the more you get into it, the more you find yourself finding out things that you didn't know you didn't know. One of these is that prisons move. And I'd never considered this, because you see a prison, you see the great big Victorian Bastille, and it's a big solid stone building. Of course it doesn't move, but it's full of people who are continuously, assiduously trying to get out and chiseling away and trying to find ways to enlarge themselves. So of course, every so often you have to move the prison, because quite simply you can't carry on maintaining, because the more you maintain, every so often somebody just go and break what you've done. It's a thankless job. Prisons move. The Clink has moved 4 times. It started off about 100 yards away. It did in 1144. There is just next to the Cathedral, if you know this area particularly well. We've got the Borough Market. On the site of the market is a section called Jubilee Market. This is formerly on the site of the old yard of the Bishop's Palace, and it was there that there were 2 wooden, timber-framed, above-ground lockups. One for men, one for women. Now, the women's jail was probably the first of its kind in this country, and in a kind of backward way, it was a little nod to a little bit of female emancipation. Because previously, if a woman had committed a crime, then it was the responsibility of her father or her husband. Here in Southwark, there was a significant number of women who were effectively independent. They were prostitutes. Of course, working for one establishment or another. There were a very large number of whorehouses between here and the site of now Tate Modern. But it's actually quite significant that there was a female prison. There were independent women making sufficient trouble for there to be a need for somewhere to lock them. This had never happened before. The prisons remained on that site until about 1381, when there was a rebellion, civil disorder in London again. I don't know if there's any historians in the crowd. Anyone guess of the big civil disturbance in 1381? Pardon? It wasn't about a poll tax, madam. It was the Peasants' Revolt. Peasants' Revolt, Wat Tyler, against the poll tax that had been levied by King Richard II. And they got to the Bishop's Palace, they broke in, they pretty much demolished the place, and they let all the prisoners go. So when the Bishop's Palace was rebuilt, they went, right, we're not leaving the gents out in the courtyard, we'll stick them in the cellar. I expect a good number of you came here along Clink Street from London Bridge Station, am I right?
Yeah.
Well, you may have seen the big rose window.
Yeah.
Right. Down in front of that, there's the cellarage space. As far as we know, the men were kept in there for about 80 years, until there was another great rebellion. This one in 1450. Any guesses to that one? It was Jack Cade's rebellion. He was rebelling against the rule of the Lancastrian Plantagenet kings. They got to the bishop's palace, broke in and wrecked it, and again let all the prisoners out. The prison was then moved here. So it's been here from about 1460. Where it ended up after that, I will get to towards the end of the tour. Before we go any further, I'll dwell a little on the name. Clink. This has, of course, passed into our language as a piece of generic slang for being in prison, in the same way as doing birds, doing porridge, doing a stretch and going away on your holidays. As I'm sure anyone who's been to Polici's Cafe on the Bethnal Green Road may know.